Summer 2022. What can I say, other than this was the best summer ever of my entire life? Before we get to anything, let's explain how the summer beats both the spring and the fall, so far, this year, as well as any other summer that came before this one. Back in the spring, there are these kids that like to annoyingly meow at me when I am walking to school, with the intention to be mean to me. It went on from late March through early June, and it came back in late September. Another issue, in both the spring and the fall, my science classes are really annoying and boring. Some of my classmates like to harass me as well. Neither of those were present during the summer, since obviously there was no school, and when there's no school, there's no class. And for earlier summers, there is a place I go up to 240 miles from here, and normally it's full of issues such as bugs, family arguments, and camping bullcrap. And at the pool in my hometown, I did all kinds of idiotic stuff, such as drinking the water, running, pushing, and in the later years, being bossy with little kids. There was none of that this year. The only parts of the summer that weren't so good were when I got COVID, when I caused a scratch on my mom's car that we share, when I ran a stop sign on a different day from the scratch, and when I argued a bit, but nowhere near the number and level of arguments I've had in previous years. Anyway, let's start from the beginning, on June 22nd. June 22nd was my last day of school, and we celebrated with a little field day which included three-legged races, musical chairs, and water sponges. Then we had the talent show and I showed off my talents with my days of the week skill. In case any of you don't know, with my excellent memory, I can remember which day of the week a date was or will be on from the 1900s to the 2000s centuries. For example, May 5, 1924 was on a Monday, November 27, 2002 was on a Wednesday, and October 23, 2022 was on a Sunday. Anyway, that day ended and my Learning Center class for next year dropped, so I instead have a full free period for the next year, which is very nice because I get to go home and rest up for my next class, which I later find out is right before AP Spanish, my hardest class of all since it's the only AP I'm taking. Next up, on June 23rd, I walked up a trailway and down an old road that I used to get to an old camp I went to from 2011 to 2016. Then on June 24th, I went for a swim and then drove to McDonald's and used the drive-thru for the very first time. On Saturday the 25th, I went to the beach, and since I wore sunscreen, a hat, and sunglasses, I didn't get a sunburn. And on Sunday the 26th, I got myself ready for my summer job. My summer job is being a camp counselor at a kiddie camp for 3- and 4-year-olds. Each camp day lasts from 9 to noon. I'm there for much longer to settle in and clean up. Usually, I would get out between 12:15 if we don't have anything special to set up and take down, and 1 if we're setting up or taking down for a special event. On the 27th, we were setting up the classroom for all the campers to come in and play. It was hard work, but we got to have some pizza as our reward for great decorating. The real first day was the 28th, and our fun continued on the 29th, 30th, and 1st. After each day, I would do something, and I went to an amusement park, went for a swim, went to Party City, and packed up for my vacation respectively. At my summer job, we usually hang out in the classroom and either play with toys, do some art, or read a story, and then we go outside to the playground and I would have fun pushing the kids in the toy cars, pushing the kids on the tire swings saying hello, goodbye, hello, goodbye. Playing tag with them, or just supervising them to make sure they don't get hurt or run away. On Mondays we would have music, Tuesdays and Wednesdays we'd have art, Thursdays we'd have yoga, and Fridays would be special events. Also on Wednesdays, we'd have water play. At water play, we would have some fun playing around with the water with a sprinkler, some pools filled with water for boats and other toys, and the campers also like to splash each other with buckets. Since I don't like to get wet in normal clothes, which I wear to camp no matter what, I just supervise on the playground, so if anyone does not want to get wet, but at the same time have fun, they can do that with me. I usually also like to spend the time reapplying my sunscreen to keep myself safe in the sun. I later got used to wearing a hat as well. Anyway, after the first week, I went up 240 miles, I did the driving for about 60 of them, and I got to see my cousins for 2 days of family hangouts, lake walks, porch lunches, and one of the days also included fireworks. On Monday the 4th, I went back home, and I drove for 100 miles of the way. On Tuesday the 5th, I did some shopping, and then when there was a truck in the way of the road I normally used to get home, I decided to drive on the highway, and that was my very first time doing that by myself. On Wednesday the 6th, I went for a nice swim. However, the good parts of the summer get paused on the 7th, because that's when I got COVID, which meant no leaving the house except to walk the dog. I had to miss camp on that Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. On Tuesday the 12th, I started to feel better and I did some more shopping using the same highway again. I got back to the camp on Wednesday the 13th, but I had to wear a mask for that day, Thursday, and Friday, as well as the weekend. The mask officially came off on Monday the 18th, which that day it was raining a boatload. Great things continued on the 19th, 20th, and 21st, and then on the 22nd, I had Superheroes Day at camp. I wore an orange cape and a black mask, coincidentally the Halloween colors. After that day ended, I went to American Dream to get my season pass for DreamWorks Water Park that I used throughout the months of August and September. My first go using the pass was on the 24th. Then I found out I was spending a little much, so I had to get creative with how I got there and other ways to save. Which reminds me, I don't drive there, I commute there. On the 26th and 27th, it cooled down, and I had so much fun on the playground with my campers. On the 28th, I had some bad allergies and coughing, so I had to leave camp early, and I decided to buy some Claritin and cough drops, and those cough drops really help when you have a cough, while the Claritin takes a little more time. On the 29th, my parents went up for a party, so the weekend was just for me and my brothers. We played basketball, football, and had so much fun. We often hang out more when our parents are not here, which is pretty funny if you ask me. On the 30th and 31st, I went for such great swims at the pool. I even saw one of my campers there. On August 1st, I went for a walk on the cloudy, cool day. August 2nd was the one not-so-good day of that month, and that was when I accidentally ran a stop sign at a three-way stop area. On the 4th, we had a bouncy castle at camp, and I had fun supervising the kids within it. On the 5th, that was my last day of camp, and we cleaned up the place and wrapped it up with some pizza. I also got some cards and tips from the campers' parents, plus a payment for the job. The 4.5 weeks after that, from August 6th to September 6th, were all mine, where I can do whatever I want, whether that would be swimming, walking, or going to American Dream. To kick that off, I did my laundry and had a great hangout with Julian. On the 7th, I went to American Dream and forgot to bring my towel for DreamWorks Water Park, so I bought one and it's bigger than my old one. On the 8th, I visited a college and I got a nice train ride there and back. The 9th and 10th were regular, fine days. On the 11th, I went to American Dream again. On the 12th, I went for a nice swim and was the only person there. On the 13th, I went for a 12-mile walk up and 12-mile walk down, making 24 miles in total with 50,000. I got McDonald's for lunch at the turnaround point. On the 14th, I did some meditating. On the 15th and 16th, I did some video making and walking respectively. On the 17th, I took the train again to visit another college, but I had to wake up early since it was so far away from where I live. The 18th was just a normal day with nothing significant about it. Then on the 19th, that was the best day of the summer. That's right, August 19th. What happened exactly? Well, I was going to American Dream, and after getting that, I first went to DreamWorks Water Park for some water slide fun and wave pool fun, but at one point in the wave pool, my locker wristband broke and I had to get my phone out of my locker ASAP. Because of that, I couldn't go on any more slides, which was where I got the idea of going sledding at Big Snow to kill the rest of my time that day. At Big Snow, it's real snow, with a 28 temperature, so you need a coat, pants, boots, gloves, and perhaps a hat. I went for some sledding and I had so much fun. I ended up killing too much time, so I had to shorten my commute home and pay a little more to get home faster on the express. After that, the 20th was another fun hangout with Julian, and the 21st I had a good drive on the highway. The 22nd was just good, the 23rd I went for a beautiful walk, the 24th I went for a swim, and on the 25th, I got my schedule and I get my free period right before AP Spanish and After Science, which I later find out that these are two very difficult classes. Perfect time for one. On the 26th, my mom had friends over, and I had fun talking to them. On the 27th, I went to American Dream once again. There was nothing significant about the 28th and 29th. On the 30th, I went for another nice swim. On the 31st, Julian and I went for a beautiful walk. Then on the 2nd, I went to American Dream again, and this time went on the Dream Wheel in addition to DreamWorks Water Park. The 3rd, I went to another amusement park for one last time of the summer. The 5th, I hung out with some other friends. And finally, on the 6th, I worked out and got myself ready for school. Anyway, when this is all said and done, summer 2022 was simply the best summer ever, and that's that. What is there even to complain about it, other than getting COVID? All the great stuff, of course, totally outweighs the bad. If I have to say anything else, summer 2022 rocks. And so does fall 2021, spring 2018 sucks. End of salute.